A disabled woman is washing clothes at home when her husband calls her. Then his wife sees another girl. She asks her husband, "Who is this?" Then the husband says, "Relax, she is my girlfriend. See how she looks like a princess." Then the wife says, "You have no shame bringing her in front of me." Then the husband says, "I am tired of you. You do not even have one arm and I find you very ugly." Then the wife says, "You should have thought about that when you married me." And then she says, "My God made me this way. What is my fault in it?" Then he says, "On top of that, you are poor and my girlfriend has given me this new phone." Then the husband says, "People make fun of me because of your arm and I have started to hate this house too." Then the disabled wife says, "God has given me ability and I can do all the housework and I have never let my disability stop me." Then the husband says, "When I come home, I feel scared of you and look how lovely my girlfriend is." The disabled wife says, "Look, I can wash the clothes well and cook food too." Then his girlfriend says, "Look how your house looks because of this disabled girl." Then the husband says, "Look, my girlfriend has perfect hands and feet and I was looking for such a girl." Then the wife says, "My God made my hand like this and I thank my God because he made me a human." Then the husband says, "You do not even look like a human. You are very ugly and I will pray to God that no one gets a wife like you." Then the wife says, "My God is with me and you will see that my God will take revenge from you because you are rejecting his blessings." Then a neighbor secretly listening says, "What an unfortunate man who is leaving his good wife." Then the girlfriend tells, "You disabled girl, leave him, now I have come to take care of him." Then the disabled wife says, "My God must have planned something better for me, and I pray you are never happy with him." Then the husband says, "You keep praying to God, and I am going with her." Then the neighbor arrives there and says, "Why are you fighting with your wife?" Then the husband and girlfriend laugh at him, and then his wife says, "My God will soon bring the day when this girl will leave you, and you will have nothing but regret." Then the husband leaves with his girlfriend. Then the neighbor consoles the disabled girl and says, "Have patience, and God loves those who are patient, and one day your husband will return to you." And the girl listens to him, worried. Then the disabled girl says, "I will face all these situations bravely, and my God will make me successful in this test." Then by the power of God, it was decided to hold the arrogant man accountable. Then he says to his girlfriend, "You said you had a grand house and you brought me to this junk place." Then the girlfriend says, "I also thought you were a rich man, but you also have nothing." And then she says, "I cannot tolerate you and get out of my house." Then the arrogant man returns to his first home. Then his former wife says, "You cannot come back into this house because you did not value me." Then the arrogant man says, "Please give me something to eat. I have not eaten since yesterday." And he kneels down and starts begging her for forgiveness. Then the disabled wife says, "The doors of this house are now closed for you forever." Then the neighbor arrives there, and the arrogant man says, "What is he doing here?" Then the disabled girl says, "You left me helpless and God sent him, and now he is my husband." Then the disabled woman's husband says, "Those who do not thank God for his blessings, then God closes the doors of his mercy on them. Then they close the door of their house and go inside. Then man keeps screaming outside." Material gifts cannot replace love, honesty, and emotional support. If you like our video, please send super thanks.